So the reading I'm doing today is for people that are dealing with Taurus. Sorry, I have to start that over. I'm recording this on YouTube and on Facebook, so it might be a little fucked on them. But the reading I'm doing today is for those people that are dealing with Tauruses. You decide which way the energy goes, if it's you, if it's the other person, however it resonates for you. But this is specifically for those dealing with Tauruses, okay? Now, let's begin. So, for some of you, if this has been an ongoing relationship, if you've been back and forth with this individual, or you guys been on a timeout, however it's been working out for you guys, some of you have found an inner peace, like a balance. You found a quiet moment, able to focus within and start listening to your intuition and trusting yourself. So, if you have been patient, or if this is something that is just started up, or you're going through it at the moment, understand that having patience is the best way to deal with things, because the world doesn't work on our time. Okay, everything happens when the universe decides it's going to happen, not when we say it's going to happen or when we want it to happen. But if this relationship, they're saying to have patience because there is going to be movement in the relationship, and it is going to turn into a loving partnership. So I find it funny because there's a book. If you guys haven't read it or haven't even heard of it, read it, because if you're a person like me that's really anxious, you hesitate to make decisions because you're not sure if it's the right one. It's called the 5-second rule. And I found it very interesting and helpful, because we get so caught up in our heads that we stop ourselves from making decisions or doing the things that we are supposed to do, because that's what we're being told to do by our intuition. And then we'll sit there and we'll think about it and debate it, and we won't make any moves. We'll just be like, nah, fuck it. We talk ourselves out of it. So basically, it's just countdown, like a rocket taking off. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And once you get to that, you make a move. You decide, okay, I'm going to move. You physically have to move. Wherever the fuck it is, you're going to go, make the move. So whatever the decision is, if it's scary, count down and then just do it. Don't allow your mind to talk you out of it. So if this is an individual that you've been dealing with, you have to sometimes take action, because other people get so caught up in their heads, or they're not as aware, or they're not willing to change their ways. So if you guys have been standoff, like y'all just both waiting and waiting and waiting, waiting isn't going to make the relationship happen. It's not going to make anything move or go anywhere. You have to be the initiator. So it's either you or the other person. One of you have to take the reins and start getting the ball rolling. So understand that just taking one step towards this, or whatever it is you're working on, that's it. Just the gesture. Say, hey, I'm interested. Hey, I want to talk to you. Hey, it's been a minute. But you have to be willing to take a leap of faith. You have to be willing to play the fool. You have to be willing to put yourself out there and be okay with being rejected if it doesn't go the way you want it to go. Everything isn't always for us, and it doesn't always work out for us, but there's a reason it doesn't work out, because it means something better is for you. But for this here, even the smallest steps are going to make the biggest difference. So if it's a, hey, I miss you, or I still love you, or I still think about you, do that, okay? Because I know it's scary, and none of us really like being rejected, especially by someone we have strong feelings for. And, like I said, everything's a risk, but you have to look at your life as one day you're going to be fucking 80 years old, and you're going to look back on your life. Do you want to have a shitload of regrets and be like, damn, I wish I would have done this, or I would have done that? Don't do that. Take the fucking risk. The worst thing that happens is, oh, it didn't work out the way I wanted it to. Fuck it. It doesn't work out. But you'll always know that you did what you were inspired to do, and you didn't push it off, okay? Because that's where you're going to get satisfaction from. If you let your love, your guidance, your intuition guide you through everything, and don't let everything else define you. Don't let what other people think, other people's opinion of you, define what you should and shouldn't do, okay? Because In living moment to moment, you learn to appreciate life more, and you don't put so many expectations on yourself, on other people, or on situations. And allowing that, it allows things to come to fruition. It allows things to grow. And making conscious decisions and being intentional with your actions, it shows that you're elevating and you're raising your vibration of love. You start acting out of love and you start making these moves, you'll realize how quickly your life starts changing, because you're no longer allowing other things to influence what you're trying to do or what you're trying to create. So always base your decisions out of love, out of what's for the highest good. You know, a lot of us can be selfish and we want things a certain way. But what I tell a lot of people that I know is, people go after the physical. People see physical beauty and that's what they want. And that's not always what's best for you. You want someone whose soul you identify with, whose soul talks to you, because that's a connection that's going to last. The physical, you're like, damn, she's bad, or he looks sexy as hell. Cool, that's fine if you're looking for a one night stand. You know, sometimes it works out and it'll be for forever. But most of the time, we're so focused on the superficial. That's why we end up heartbroken. That's why we end up with all these traumas and all these fucking scars, because we're looking for physical shit. We're being superficial. It's a monetary gain, it's momentary pleasure. Nobody's looking for the long term. Nobody's really getting to know people before you give your body to someone. Get to know these fucking people, because and dealing with this person, this Taurus, you know, it's been a restful period. It's been enough time for you to figure out if that is your person, for them to figure out if they still want you, and however it was, you know, but it's been something that has required a lot of strength and a lot of patience to allow it to get to where it is now. But there is passion that has been ignited. So I don't know if some of you have reached out and have made the move, but there is going to be passion in this. Okay. And mind you, it's a collective read, so it might not be for every fucking human. It's not possible. You take it as it goes for you, okay? But they're saying that a new adventure awaits you. There is a new beginning that is going to come of this. And deep in your heart, you already know what the answer is. So do what feels right, okay? Even if it scares you, do it, because you'll be like, okay, that was the best decision you ever fucking made. So the only way you're going to know is in time. So if you don't take the time out to realize, like, okay, I did this and fuck it, you should take a shot of liquor and be like, all right, I'm going to go do some stupid shit now. We'll see what happens. Whatever gives you the courage to make those moves. Individual or you, again, however, you know, being apart sometimes gives people time to realize what it is that they're missing, what it is that they've been waiting for. And sometimes they don't realize what they have at that moment. You know, when you're with people, you don't realize, like, damn, that was my person. That person was meant for me. And the absence of a human will have and realize, like, you know what, maybe I should have put the time and the effort in. But this individual seemed to have gotten afraid. So maybe you told them you loved them, or maybe you wanted something serious or more than whatever it was, and it scared the shit out of them. Maybe they weren't ready. Maybe they had a horrible experience. And everybody reacts differently. You know, not everybody is, oh yeah, I'm ready for love, or I'm ready for nobody. Everybody's different, you know. So, and some people are afraid of being rejected. So that's probably why they haven't reached out to you, or vice versa. However it resonates, but understand that there is emotion there. Whether or not they've told you or they haven't, they're just very what's the word I'm looking for? They don't want to be bound. They don't like being tied down. They don't like feeling like they have to answer to somebody. But they're saying to take the leap of faith and trust that everything's going to work out, because they are showing a reunion that's going to happen. So there is going to be a coming together, a celebration, or even maybe you guys go hang out, whatever it is. But that's what the issue is. Like, this person is just afraid of being tied down. And maybe if it was a long-term relationship, then that's probably what fucked them up before. So allow that to happen, you know, just give it its time, because again, we have the Ace of Wands here. So there is a new passionate beginning that is going to take place, but someone is like, they're terrified. On the inside, they're scared shitless. Whether or not they're going to express this to you, I don't know. But on the inside, they're like terrified, and they're keeping themselves in hermit mode and not really going outside, not interacting. They're not doing these things. but they are coming to you with truth and honesty. So, again, however this is resonating for you, give it time, because in doing that, it allows things to grow. But always be true to who you are. And if you have questions, ask the questions. If you want to be, you have to seek it out. Some people aren't good communicators. Some people don't know how to communicate and they keep everything inside. So while that's happening, you're sitting here running in circles in your head with what the fuck's happening. But enjoy it. Play, go out on a date, go hang out, do childlike shit. Do shit that you're like, damn, I haven't gone roller skating since I was like fucking 12 years old. That helps bring up your energy. Okay, do these things, because when you nurture your inner child, it helps everything else come to fruition. And sometimes the inner child just needs love and it needs healing. So allow that to happen. Okay, and be willing to learn from other people. And not to say, because I don't like going to other people for advice or asking other people's opinions, because this is my life, this is my journey, just like this is your life and this is your journey. So while to everybody else, whatever happened may not have been the best or may have been fucked up, it doesn't matter, because ultimately, when you come in contact with people that you love, if they're a soulmate, twin, whatever the fuck they are to you, there are lessons in those things. They are there to help you grow and mature and change who you are. So whether it ended bad or if it was good, they're always lessons. So don't look at it as, fuck, this was bad, I shouldn't have did this. No, take the lesson and move forward, because maybe they're preparing you for your true person. Okay, they're preparing you for your soulmate, or maybe you're helping somebody else heal shit that they didn't know how to heal. So be open to it, be honest with each other, always talk, so that way you guys can help each other, and learn to love every piece of you. We're not perfect, we're not beautiful all over the place, but love all of you, because when you start loving yourself and people notice that you're loving yourself, then people will come and they will start loving you and giving you the same love you give yourself. Okay, but it's hard for someone to love you if you don't love all of you, and that's accepting the good, the bad, the ugly. Fuck it, whatever it is, love all of you. Now for some others, there is a fear of change. So it could be you or it could be this individual. Now, if this individual was single and y'all was just like in a situationship, understand that people get afraid, because it's like, no, I was single for a reason. Like, my last relationship was really shitty and I'm not trying to go through this again. I take the breaks, allow people to have their time to heal their shit. Because in taking the time out, you realize whether or not your pride is what's keeping you bound, what your pride is stopping you from moving forward. So sometimes the timeout gives people the opportunity to change their perspective, because again, like I said, there is a rebirth to the situation, but one of you is fearful and the other is kind of finding peace, finding a level of peace with the situation. That's not the one. So when you follow your vision, the right path will reveal itself. It takes time, but when you start trusting those nudges, like person pops in your head and you're like, damn, should I go see them? Should I reach out to them? Should I talk to them? And then you're like, nah, fuck that shit. They did this, that, and the third. I'm not interested. I'm not doing this. That right there is what blocks us. That is what we keep ourselves from our blessings, because we get set in our ways. So in being set in your own ways, that's the pride. You're not going to live your life to the fullest. You're not going to do the things that you need to do. Now, you or the other individual, again, whoever this is, there's a relationship or a past situation that you haven't let go of. Now, you have to let go of whatever it is you're dealing with, or whoever it is that you're dealing with, so that way you can make room for new, a new person, a new job, new house, new whatever. But you have to release these things. And sometimes in releasing, it's scary, it's scary to let people go, especially if it's been a long-term relationship or if you have a family. It's scary, things change, but you have to be willing to create your life, be intentional with your life, and go after what the fuck it is you want. Because if you don't go after it, believe me, you are going to regret it for as long as you're fucking alive, and you're going to be like, damn, I fucked up and I should have said this, because it could have changed every fucking thing. That's why I don't care. You can reject me, you can hate me, you can what, I don't give a fuck. As long as I know in my mind and my conscience, I'm good. I'm going to be at peace. Fuck it. So be open to that things, okay? And realize that everything doesn't have to be a grand gesture or a grand event to be joyous. It could be little things. It could be, hey, let's watch a movie. You know, sometimes with fucking people, I'd be like, yo, we'll be on the phone together. I'd be like, okay, let's put on a show. Let's put on a movie and we'll watch it together. Because sometimes distance is an issue. It is a factor. But if you guys could find a way to work around it, then it'll be good, okay? But again, the past situation's coming up. So some of you haven't released a past situation or are currently working through a situation right now, but you have to release stagnant situations in order for things to transform in your heart space. Because holding on to something that's toxic or not beneficial to you is going to hinder what you're trying to create. Okay. And also, compromise is very important. And I say this probably a million fucking times. You have to be willing to compromise because we are very different individuals, you know, depending on the background, whatever, wherever you come from. Everybody's different. Everybody has different traumas. Everybody has something different that they're like, no, I'm not going to budge on this. But in order for relationships to work, there has to be compromise. You guys have to be willing to say, I'll budge on this and there maybe meet you halfway. But if one person's like, nah, it has to be my way and that's it, there's not going to be any other way. I promise you this shit's not going to work because the other person's going to be like, you know what? I'm tired. I could find somebody that will be willing to compromise and I don't got to do this. So understand that if the end result is going to be love and it's going to be a relationship, it's going to be something that you've been waiting for or looking for, be open to compromise. Okay. So if you're that type of stubborn person and you're like, check yourself and be like, you know, why am I so afraid? What is keeping me stuck? What is stopping me from being open to this union or making this compromise? Do that. Okay. Check yourself and be like, stop it right there. So that way, when you ask yourself questions, you're able to see really what it is that's stopping you forward progress that you're looking for. Okay. And fully appreciate everything that is given to you. You know, I want to laugh because people, you know, I've read a lot of books, just mad shit, and they say yes to life. And I'm like, say yes to life. What the fuck you mean say yes to life? I don't want to say yes to every situation that presents itself because some situations is all the way fucked up and you're like, should I really say yes to this shit? And it's like, no, you should not say yes. Don't say yes. Run the other fucking way. But in being open to what life presents you and accepting it for what it is and not putting any attachments or expectations on it, you find that it's easier to flow. It's easier to enjoy life and you're not holding on to all the toxic and the negative. Okay. Because they're saying with you moving on, all of the wisdom that you've acquired from your past relationships, from the relationship you're in now or you're trying to get out of, you're going to be able to fulfill your life. You're going to be able to have a foundation that you've been working towards. It's not going to be a faulty foundation. This foundation is going to be a firm foundation, okay? And you're going to achieve that happy home, happy life, whatever it is that you've been looking for, because you're wiser. You've experienced life. You've been through shit. Use that as knowledge. Don't use it as these are fucked up things that happen, because fucked up things happen, but you have to be able to say, I contributed to this fucked up situation in these ways. Now, how can I do better so that I don't recreate this, so that I don't keep doing this time after time, relationship after relationship? Allow yourself the time between the relationships to heal what you need to heal and make sure that you're being honest. Because I'll tell you right now, my relationships, they failed. I can't say it's because of them because there's shit that I need to deal with. That was me. And sometimes it is dumb, but I won't never sit here and tell you that, oh yeah, this relationship didn't work out because it was only this person. It is always multiple people. It is always two people together that's like, hey, you know, I triggered this, they trigger that. I trigger this, they trigger that. And that's what happens. So please be open to these things. Be honest with yourself because it is going to work out for the best. Now, so this person may be watching you, or maybe you were watching that person. I don't know how it's resonating for you, but they have very deep feelings for you. And maybe they're not saying it because, again, they're afraid. And some of this fear does come from being hurt, and others of it, like people that have fucked up childhoods will say, that weren't allowed to express or never taught to express their feelings in an appropriate manner. Things like that will hinder a relationship because I could communicate, and they're not communicating back. So if you know this person, because sometimes you can just feel the energy, you feel the love that someone has for you. It doesn't mean that it needs to be verbalized. While ideally you want it verbalized because it's like, I'm not a fucking mind reader. Talk to me and we can work it out. If you're scared, I can work with scared. I can't work with not fucking knowing, you know. But there is never a right or wrong choice, okay? Because in any decision you make, even if it is the wrong choice, you can always back the fuck out and start over again somewhere else. But you understand love more. You understand that love is unconditional. Love isn't as long as you do this or you act in this manner and you do what I want you to do. That's not love. That's love with conditions. And that's never going to work out. You have to love people unconditionally because we're all human, we're all flawed, and we all have fucked up at some point in time. So it's unrealistic to sit there and say, oh, I love this person. Do you really love that person? Will you love that person and regardless of what the fuck happens in life? That's not real. You know, you have to be unconditional. And I'm not saying unconditional that I'm going to stay with you and that's what the fuck it is. Like you're fucking cheating on me and you're playing me or you're beating the shit out of me. No, you can, I'm going to unconditionally love your ass from another fucking state. Like, don't do that to yourself. Like, for real, don't do that. But really, like, it's okay. You know, I love like family. That's a perfect fucking example. We all have fucked up family members that you're just like, yo, if you wasn't my family, I swear to God, I wouldn't fuck with you. And you love them up ways and shit that you can't stand. And you're like, yo, I fucking hate you. I hate your personality. But there's still that love regardless of what happens. You know, you'll always be there. That's the type of love I'm talking about. You have to be that, have that when you're dealing with relationships. And this is about to transform, and it's going to transform for the highest good. So if you're ready, if you're not ready, then you should probably take it a little bit slower. But if you are ready and this is something you've been working towards, love changes everything, you know, and some people are afraid of that, especially if that's not something they're used to receiving or used to having. Because shit, I'll tell you, even me, I've experienced love. I've experienced a lot of shit, but I get scared. And I'm like, nah, I'm not dealing with this. I'm like, I'm not ready for this. Leave me alone. And that's how people deal with it. But there's things deep down inside of them, you know, that it's not easy to deal with. There's things that come up from our childhood that trigger us, that say, you know what, you need to do this. You need to figure this out. You need to work on these things so that way it'll be better. But you inspire this individual, whether you realize it or not, you are an inspiration to them. So maybe you do things or you take action on things that they're scared to do or they're not willing to do for themselves. And it impresses them that you are capable of doing this. And they're damaged, you know, we're damaged goods, and they're afraid, you know, that sometimes they feel like they're not capable of providing what it is that you want or giving you the type of love that you want. And again, it's not because they don't want to, it's they don't know how to. So you have to be able to work with them and teach them. You know, sometimes it's just as much as literally having patience. If you approach people, it's going to sound fucked up, don't judge me, like they're children, you know, because children don't understand. They're not fully aware of the world. They're not fully aware of the risk. They don't know how to love. They don't know how to do anything. We teach them how to do these things. So if you're going into this, have the conversations, talk to them, love them, show them, be like, listen, this is how this works. This is how we're going to make this happen. Work on those things. Okay. Because right now, whether it's you or them, they are exhausted. They have reached the point of exhaustion and things seem to be slowing down. And you guys are just like trying to find a place, you know, trying to trust your intuition and trust that the universe is working in your highest good. And the situations, no matter how bleak they may look right now, and it might be like, this is not going to work out, or this is never going to happen. And maybe you haven't talked to them in fucking 20 years. I don't know. That's excessive. Don't fucking wait for nobody that long. But we'll say a few months, a year, 2 years, however long it's been going on, you know, it's basically trusting your intuition, because sometimes you're tired, you know, you get exhausted and the situation is like, damn, this isn't fucking changing. I've been going back and forth with this for mad long and it's fucking annoying me. But we have the high priestess here, and this individual may be a very intuitive individual, or maybe you're the individual that's very intuitive, but they're showing me that this is something that was destined to happen. So however it is happening, whether it was a fucked up situation and it's like straightening out now, but this is going to be your 10 of cups. This is what's going to be ultimately the end of this. It's going to lead you to your 10 of cups, because again, this is something that's been destined for you, that is preordained for you. And for some of you, maybe you are dealing with someone that is in the public eye, that maybe they do readings, they are very spiritual, and they have a website, whatever it is, that they get seen, and that could be, I don't want to say famous, but well known. So this is going to lead to the 10 of cups if you play your cards right and you're willing to take those risks. You know, you have to be willing to take the risk and take the action, because there are miracles that they're on their way right now. And if this is something you've been praying for and you've been like, damn, is this ever going to come to fruition? I've been manifesting this for mad long and nothing's happening, and we haven't even talked, and I blocked them or they blocked me and they hate my fucking guts. Wherever you're at, I don't know. But they want you to count your blessings and enjoy life, okay? Take pleasure in the simple things and always expect the best, because that's, again, the book. It's funny because if we, in our minds, we set ourselves up for failure instantly, our minds are programmed to be negative. It sets us up for failure every time. You think you're going to go to the store and you're like, damn, I'm not going to find parking because everybody in right now will take, for instance, there's fucking a million people outside shopping, buying everything. You're like, I'm not going to find parking. I'm not going to that. And then you look and you don't find parking. You got to park fucking like 5 blocks away. But if you set your mind to say, you know what, when I get there and you're envisioning this, I'm going to have parking right there and everything's going to go smoothly, and program your mind to see the positive and set it up the way you want it to be, you'll see how more and more it's going to start working out in your favor. You'll see like, damn, that's crazy, especially fucking in the city. For me, I was like, all right, I'm staying here. My weekend was crazy. I'm staying here in the city. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, parking is a bitch. Never find parking where you need to park. And luckily you find parking on the same block. And you're like, yes, that's awesome. But that's what you envision. You're like, I'm going to find parking as soon as I get there. And luckily you do. So again, apply that to anything. Just envision better. Say, okay, this is going to work out for me. This is going to be good. And even if the relationship doesn't work out for you, there's lessons in it that you can apply to future relationships, okay? But Spirit really wants you guys to live in this moment right now and be conscious of your thoughts, okay? So again, they give us signs, they give us signals, they do all of this shit on a regular basis. But some of you are not, you're not open to listening to the signs or even acknowledging them, because it could be a fucking song, it could be a commercial, it could be a fucking billboard, whatever it is, it's your, you know, your guides. They reach out to you and they're trying to tell you things. And if you keep hearing the same fucking song, listen to the song, break the song down and see what parts of that shit apply to your life right now, because there's a message in that your ancestors are like, listen, listen, listen. There's messages in that. So don't shut it down. Ultimately, when you get here, when you get to me, it's just like, hey, these people aren't listening, so I know they're going to listen to you because you're going to be here physically speaking to them. And that's fine, because some people need just direct messages, and it's okay, you know, but understand that everybody is intuitive. Everybody has these gifts. Everybody can do all of this. You just have to be calm and quiet yourself enough to listen to what's coming in. So if you're dealing with a Taurus, it is definitely going to improve and it is going to bring you fulfillment. So work with it. Remember, compromise and be patient with it. Solar plexus came out. So some of you have to work on your solar plexus, whatever, you know, it is that you got going on. And I'm going to pull a crystal card for you guys to see what crystals will best help you at this moment in time in this situation with your Taurus individual. So let's see what else comes out. Sorry, I try to do all my shuffling offline because this shit takes forever, or they throw out 1,000 cards at a time. So to save time for everybody, because I know these readings be long as fuck. All right, I'm gonna do one more. No more? Are we done? Oh, okay. So Moldavite came out. I'm going to read it from the book just because I want you guys to have an accurate description of what it is and what it's for, because I don't remember all of these shits from the top of my head. Now, Moldavite is for transformation and rebirth through fire, initiation, and open to new experiences, revitalization, and renewal. So again, for those of you that this situation is renewing and it is for you, Moldavite is awesome, but it is an expensive crystal. And there are a lot of fake crystals that, fake Moldavite that's out there that they're going to try to get you with, but it is expensive. For a fucking little piece like this is like $30. So you'll know if it's real or not because you could tell by the texture. Now the orange calcite is another one that came out for you guys. I gotta go back. For the orange calcite, it's creativity, the pleasure of birthing something new, sensuality, and sexuality. And like I said, these are great to have because the energy that they carry, it helps change your energy and your frequencies. So whatever we're putting out, that's what we're going to get back. So don't carry like 1,000 crystals on you, but definitely like I always have them in my purse or my pocket, on my body, wherever. And the last one is the pink sapphire. That's the one that came out now. It's forgiveness, choosing to heal, acceptance, and letting go, soothing the heart. So for those of you that have been or working on letting go of a relationship, this will be awesome for you guys, okay? And forgiveness, sometimes forgiveness is hard, but when you come from your heart, it's okay. You forgive people for you. You don't forgive them for them. You forgive them for you. So that way you can move forward in your life. It doesn't have to be all about them. And I'm going to pull an angel answer card. So if you have any questions right now that you're thinking about, please focus on it. And I will pull a card and hopefully it gives you the answer you're looking for. I'll pull 3 different ones just because, everybody doesn't have the same question and you choose which one you want to take. So Jesus Christ. All right. So the first one is within the next few months. So for those of you that have been wondering about what's going on, they're saying within the next few months. And the other one that instantly jumped out was a year from now. So, you choose where you're at with whatever question you're asking or how long it's going to take. It's because you have to let things happen and play out the way they're meant to. So don't be so pressed. And then in the near future is the last one. So they all seem pretty positive. It's just going to take some time for you to get to whatever it is you're trying to get to. So don't feel a lot of pressure and don't feel rushed. There's always enough time. It's our ego that makes us feel like there's not enough time. There's always enough time. So please be open, be patient, and communicative, because without communication, shit's never going to work for fucking anybody. I love you guys. Thank you so much for everything. And please take care of yourselves and be happy. And don't be so terrified about love or trusting yourself, okay? Everything always works out for the highest good. Have a good day. Hey, so the reading I'm doing today is for people that are dealing with Taurus. Oh, sorry, I have to start that over. I'm recording this on YouTube and on Facebook, so it might be a little fucked up with both. I don't know. But the reading I'm doing today is for those people that are dealing with Tauruses. You decide which way